Hello and welcome to the Brutal Iron Gym podcast, where our goal is to cut through the BS and deliver the brutal truth about topics related to health and happiness. Today's podcast number 1551. The topic is mindset and the title is Use Your Pain. So I was talking with a client recently and we're new to each other, so we're still kind of learning each other, feeling each other out. And we were talking about some rough places in life and challenges that they've had, and then how challenges in other areas of their life can carry over into their current physical goals. And we were trying to talk them up and have them recognize how freaking awesome they really are, and that they can use that awesomeness to crush these new goals. In our conversation, they said that they had a period of their life where they were making less than $20,000 a year. They were working 2 solid jobs, trying to off and on third weekend kind of job. And they lived in an empty apartment. And they now said that they wish they would have had a photo of that apartment. They actually wanted to have physical memory of it. But at the time, it was such a low point in life. It was such a stressful point in life. No one would think to, let me take a picture of the worst moment of my life. So we were talking about how it's very, reasonable to not have any proof of that. I'm sure the brain didn't want to remember that. But the reason why we were saying that is now they earn 10 times that money. They have one steady job. And they make enough money now to pay for online coaching to help towards their mental and emotional health as much as their physical health. So this person busted their ass. They built up this amazing brand new life, and they're getting to reap the rewards of it, and they're really feeling blessed and excited and motivated because of where they are now. So the pain they were in back in that empty apartment, they now see as motivation. That pain now fuels their fire. And I was talking about how with some of my old injuries, they were big setbacks, emotionally and mentally, as well as physically. But I kept moving. I read a bunch of books, made a lot of friends with physical therapists and chiropractors, and learned a lot. And I was able to put in some effort every day, whether that was learning or actual physical movement or something. I was able to do something every single day. And I learned from those injuries, and through me learning about my injuries, I actually get to help a lot of other people avoid injuries completely, and I've still made significant progress. So after some of my most significant injuries, I've still squatted 600 pounds in sleeves, deadlifted 700 pounds, benched 430 pounds, and I have metal plates in my shoulder. So I have a lot of injuries, but I've also 270-ish pounds now. You can kind of see my abs. I've gained a lot of weight. But when I was 18 years old, I was only 165 pounds, and I had more body fat than I do now, over 100 pounds heavier. So I've had a lot of injuries, but man, I've made some huge freaking progress, and I've been able to help a lot of other people through what I learned. So those were pains for me, but man, they turned into some pretty kick-ass stuff. I was also thinking that I do a similar thing when I run across mental and emotional pains. Maybe there's consequences of my actions, my inactions, or my words, or not using words, just in regular life, in relationships. There were moments in my life when I had pain related to the way I acted, the way I said, or what I didn't act, or what I didn't say. And I worked to correct it. I read a lot of audiobooks. Well, I guess I listen to a lot of audiobooks. And the only 2 categories I listen to are self-help and business, which is still another form of self-help. But I love learning more about ways to think, ways to interact, ways to just be a better person. And I'm motivated by those things. That, to me, that's exciting. So pain can be helpful. It can be motivating. Pain can be the driver. It can be that push that you need to address the issue that's holding you back. If you're in pain because you're unhappy about being overweight, use your pain. Set a morning alarm to get up on time to eat breakfast, maybe even to work out a little bit in the morning, just a 10-minute bodyweight circuit. Use that pain to say yes to food prepping efforts, making sure you buy and have the right foods available around the house. Use that pain to say no to being lazy and eating bad food. Use that pain to say yes to movement, to workouts, to anything that you know you should do, but you just don't want to do. If you're in pain because you're unhappy being underweight, you're too small, you want to get bigger muscles, you want to be stronger, use that pain. Use your pain. Same things. Use your pain to set the alarm to get up on time. Use your pain to eat the food you should eat, to avoid the foods you shouldn't eat, or skipping meals. Use that pain to motivate you through the workouts, to show up and work out even on days you don't feel like it. If you have an unmet goal in your life, you're likely feeling some pain from that, like unhappiness, discontentment, whatever that might be. Maybe you're hiding it. Maybe you're trying to ignore it. Maybe you've kind of learned to live with it. And that's just the way life is. That kind of mindset. But if that pain is there, use it. If you're going to be in pain anyhow, you're going to be in pain of not doing anything because you feel like a failure and a loser and things will never be different. You're going to be in that pain anyhow. Why not get something for your pain? Why not use your pain to make things better? When I was younger, especially like when I started my fitness journey at 15 years old, I was driven by self-hate. I wanted to do everything opposite of what my natural instincts were because I believed my natural instincts led me to where I was and I was unhappy there. I was overweight, I was weak, physically, mentally. I just didn't like the way I was. And I was like, well, dang it, then anything that I want to do, I'm not doing it. Anything I don't want to do, I'm going to do it. I'm just going to start to use the pain as a driving force to act on things that I normally would be too lazy to do. I turned self-hate, thankfully, into excitement. I'm actually excited now because of the improvement that I see is possible in life. Life is so malleable. Like you can shape it and shift it and make it what you want. It's so freaking exciting. So exciting. I'm fired up every day when I wake up. I just want to know how much better can I be? What can I achieve? What can I do? Physically, intellectually, emotionally, mentally. If I feel a discomfort in my life, a disconnect between something I want and something of where I am, I use it. I found out what that discontent is, what I can do about it. I set up actions, and then I follow through and I track them. If I recognize pain, I use it. If you recognize pain in your life, learn to use it. Put words to it. Give recognition. Give acknowledgement to it. Put it on paper. Talk about it. But figure out what it is. Get some context around it. Because then you can find out what you can do about it. You have to own it. You have to own every possible thing that you could be doing that contributes to it. Because if you're doing anything that contributes to it, you can do something to change it. So put words to it. Give it recognition. Give it acknowledgement. Give it context. Find out what you can do. And then set up a plan for actions to do it. Then follow through with those actions. Track your actions. If you find out that you're doing inaction, why are you not following through? Did you set up an action that's too challenging? Maybe you have to water it down. Do you feel like, I kind of sort of want to do this, but I also kind of don't. Maybe you're not in enough pain yet. Maybe it's just a small discomfort and you don't feel like making a change yet. Well, are you going to wait till it gets worse? Or can you be motivated to do it before it gets worse? If you're in pain, that isn't necessarily a bad thing. It can actually be the start of a great thing. You have to embrace that pain can push you to do the things you know you should, or to go find out what those things are. But pain can be a motivator. It can actually make your life better if you learn to use your pain. if you are experiencing pain in your life, if it's anything related to health and fitness, please reach out. Our email is brutalirongym@gmail.com. Ask me anything, and I will get you an answer. So everybody who sends me an email through the podcast, I get back to everybody. I've been doing a lot better so now we're getting through the holidays. So I got up to like 2 weeks, but now I'm getting down to like 7 to 10 days. So if you send me an email, I will get back to you within 7 to 10 days. I will get you something. Whether it's a book recommendation, a podcast, a video, just anything, I will get you some information. So if you reach out, I appreciate that you do. It shows you listen to the podcast and you actually give a crap what I think, so that's pretty awesome. So thank you. But if you need anything, just email me. Our email is brutalirongym@gmail.com. Okay? Well, I hope that if you are in pain, you learn to use it, you learn to act on it, and recognize that you can make a change. Good luck. Well, if you like our podcast, please share it. The more people we share it with, the more people can help. Anytime you share the podcast, let people know that we answer questions completely for free. So that way they know that this is a good resource for them to help them live their healthiest and happiest life. Thank you to those who donate to support the podcast. There's a hosting cost every single year to cover this. I give an hour to it every day, and we want to keep it for free. So I really appreciate the donations as they help cover all that cost and expense. If you want to donate, you can do so at our website at www.brutalirongym.com. If you like the information on our podcast, you can find more from us on our social media channels. I post on Instagram every day. I'm trying to post a lot more on YouTube, so check us out in both places and follow us in both places if you don't mind. And then if you have any questions, feedback, suggestions, anything you want to know, let us know at our email, brutalirongym@gmail.com. As always, I hope this was helpful, and thank you for listening.